Hello everybody and welcome back to WCQ 2015 here in Dublin. Here with Luke, and we're going to be talking about the Shaddoll Deck, which will be a main contender for this weekend. So Luke, walk me through it.
So one real big thing about Shaddolls is they're really powerful fusion monsters, and they just allow them to control the game and constantly recycle their resources using the fusion monsters. Whenever any of them are destroyed, they get back their fusion spell cards and are able to use those over and over again to produce these really powerful fusion monsters.
Okay, so what sort of ways am I going to accomplish this?
So another part of the Shaddoll Deck, is the ability to play one of the most powerful trap cards in the game against the Necros deck right now, being Mistake. So although Shaddoll does do a bit of searching in their deck, they don't do it half as much as the Necros deck does. So they get to play this card, which shuts down the Necros deck and still allows them to do their array of plays that they want to do.
Sure, I'm trying to think of a terrible mistake pun, but they've all been made a million times, so...
I think you trying to think of a pun was a mistake.
There you go, well played, sir. So let's talk about the rest of the trap cards we've got here.
Yeah, so we got a few of the trap cards. So Sinister Shadow Games. This allows you to flip up the Shadow monsters that you have set on the field to trigger all of their flip effects. They've all got really cool flip effects. And send one of your Shadow monsters from your deck to the graveyard, because they also have effects when they're sent from to the graveyard via card effect.
Sure, so that can set you up pretty nicely.
Set you up, get you some cards, or you can send some of the Shadow monsters which might destroy one of your opponent's monsters or spells and traps and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about this strange
so
level 9?
Quite an interesting one. So this is a trap monster, Shaddoll Core. When it's summoned, it's a 1450 by 1950 monster that can be used as any attribute when you're fusing into a Shaddoll monster.
Yeah.
And that's going to lead me on to talking about these fusion cards that we use. So we have two main ones, the Shaddoll Fusion, which is really powerful against Xseed monsters. Now, a lot of decks are playing Xseed monsters nowadays because they're very powerful. And what this allows you to do is send the material that you would use to make the Shaddoll monsters from your deck to the graveyard. And because the Shaddoll effects get triggered when they hit the graveyard, you get some...
it's the free fusion.
Yeah, you get free fusion, basically. And Shaddoll Fusion, which is a quick play fusion card, allows you to make some of those really pesky fusions during your opponent's turn. So the likes of Construct and Winder, who restricts the summoning to once per turn, or an Ayatilis, who stops your opponent's spell and trap cards from summoning monsters from their hand or graveyard.
But in addition, you can press through your OTKs because you can just drop that in the battle phase and go,
Yeah.
hey, surprise, Construct, he's here. Happy birthday.
I can dodge the really powerful Valkyries.
Yes, cheating your monsters out of play.
Yeah.
So let's cover the main fusion monsters that we're seeing here.
Yeah, so we have Shekanaga, which is kind of a really big wall monster that's used for negating effects of your opponent. We've got Winder, who can't be destroyed by card effects. And we have Construct, which allows you to send another Shadow monster from your deck to your graveyard when it's summoned, which triggers their effects again. And they all have the same effect, which you can return your fusion spells back to your hand, or the fusion trap card, the Shaddoll Core, sorry. And
fusion trap card.
Fusion trap card. Spoilers.
Don't worry about it, guys.
And
you're gonna get me into trouble.
Reuse them. And we're actually missing a Ayatilis, but that's one of the new ones.
He's around.
He's around somewhere. He must be hiding.
He's hiding in someone's extra deck. Other cards to get yourself set up.
Yeah, so generally you won't be using your normal summon for much of the Shaddoll monsters unless you plan on setting some of them to be used later on with your Sinister Shadow games. Use the Mathematician. He allows you to send any monster that's level 4 or lower from your deck to the graveyard, which again triggers all of the Shaddoll effects.
Yeah. Other off-the-wall tech choices, like for dealing with the metagame, when you're facing down Burning Abyss or Necros, what sort of cards are you considering?
Yeah, so one that we've got here is Artifact Lancier. So you've got to play a variety of attributes in your Shaddoll deck to be able to fuse into the different fusion monsters, and the light one being Construct being a very powerful one. We use Artifact Lancier, which is also really good against Necros because it stops them from banishing their cards, which is what a lot of their engine does to gain advantage.
Do you think we'll see a lot of this card over the weekend?
I think we will. It kind of was popular to begin with when we started seeing Shaddolls trying to combat against Necros, and then it kind of lost popularity, and it seems to be picking up again. So hopefully we'll see it. I like the card.
So, since all the Shaddoll monsters are dot monsters, what specific examples can you give me of other cards other than Lancia that you'd be playing to get these fusion monsters out?
So things like Sinister Serpent, which recently came back from the Forbidden Unlimited list. It's back to Limited now, which allows you to use the Water Fusion, or you can play other of the hand traps like Effect Veiler and Max C, that both can be used for the other two fusion monsters.
If I see someone playing Sinister Serpent, I'm going to shake their hand.
Yeah.
Like, ha, guys, it's still a thing.
Yeah.
All right,
so
guys.
many years later.
Yeah, well, a long time ago. All right, guys, that's Shaddoll. Hopefully you got something out of that. Enjoy the rest of the show, and we'll see you later.